Hi everyone! Happy Tuesday for all of those of you who are in Madrid. I hope you've been enjoying life in phase two. I particularly quite like the fact that we can walk outside at any given time and I don't have to worry about whether or not it's been an hour since we've left our house. If you're in Madrid, please share um, what is one thing that you have taken advantage of or that you have enjoyed now that we are in phase two. So for me, it's that. It's being able to go outside and just kind of forget the clock. That's definitely what I've enjoyed about phase two. So today we are going to talk about repairing the relationship, right? What can we do after we have shouted at our children, or maybe we were just like short or impatient for them? What can we do to reconnect with them after? Before I get started, for those of you who are watching for the very first time, I am Denise. I am the parenting coach behind Con Cariño, and I am also a mom of two living in Madrid. So ever since they've announced the schools closing, who knows how long now, I've been going live pretty regularly. It's been going less since we've been allowed out, just to share my experience as well as some tips of parenting in general. So repairing the relationship. I personally had a pretty tough week last week. I can't really I'm not gonna go into why, but I feel like my my base, how did I describe it to my husband? Like my base energy, if that's such a thing, was frustrated. So almost everything that my daughter did would just result in me being frustrated. And so, as you can imagine, if you have ever been in that position where you felt frustrated by your child, there were some things that I did that I wish that I did not do. It would be just like being like, ooh, like being like a bear, like a grumpy bear. And so that's why I thought, okay, if I'm going through this right now, maybe there are other parents who are also going through this. And so today I'm going to share, okay, what can you do if you have been the bear, right? If you have shouted at your child, if you maybe did some like really forceful action that you wish you didn't do, what can you do next? So before we get into that, I want to say, first of all, it's okay that this happened to you, right? It's okay to not be perfect. In fact, I think it's even recommended to not be perfect, because being perfect is impossible. We are human, right? And when we are not perfect, it's actually something that our kids need, because then we are able to show our kids just how it's okay to make mistakes, and how after making mistakes, after doing these things to the relationship, it's possible to repair them. And so by not being perfect, we are able to show our kids also how we can repair these relationships, right? How we can say sorry. So yes, that's what I'm saying. If you are hearing this for the first time, it is okay and recommended that you say sorry to your kids, right? And really, it's the way that they are able to learn how to say sorry as well. And to say sorry meaning it, right? Not just saying sorry because we are standing right behind them and we're waiting for them to say sorry to that child that they grabbed the shovel from. Okay? So yeah, it's that. So when we notice that we've done something, instead of kind of like beating ourselves up about it and calling ourselves terrible parents, there are other things that we can do, and one of those is going back to our child and saying, look, I'm sorry I did this, right? Let's try again. Or how can I make this up to you? One thing though that we have to keep in mind when we apologize is to say, well, actually it's to not say but, right? It's not, I'm sorry, I shouted at you, but I told you not to go on top of the chair. So, again, why should we not say but? I think if you were in that receiving end of the apology, then it wouldn't really feel like a genuine apology. And also, when we do things like that, then it's like we're still giving them the responsibility for our actions, right? We're saying, well, I'm sorry I did this, but if you hadn't done that, then I wouldn't have done this. And that's not what we want to teach them. Instead, what we want to show to them is how we can be responsible for our own actions and how we can make up for it. So yeah, so it's actually basically removing that idea that we as the parent can never do wrong. We should never show our kids that we've done something wrong, and we should never ever apologize to them. It's actually not. It's the opposite. It's showing them that we can be wrong. It's okay to be wrong, and this is how we make up for it, right? This is how we apologize. And another thing that I want to add also is, in the moment, just as how we are also, at least what I teach my parents, the parents who work with me, and what I teach my kids, is that our feelings are valid, right? So it's okay also for us to be angry. Just as it's okay for us to make mistakes, it's okay for us to feel all these different emotions that we feel. And with our kids, as with us, maybe what's not okay are to do certain actions. So yeah, just kind of give yourself that compassion as well. I remember that parenting is hard. And there are some days that it'll just be like this, and we're gonna really do our best to not be grumpy and to not shout. But sometimes it happens, and if it happens, we know what we can do. And it's to just repair the relationship. It's to go back to our child and say sorry and try to make it up for them. Say if they want to do like a do-over, right? And yeah, and it's not beating ourselves up for not being this perfect parent, because that perfect parent does not exist, okay? So yeah, today is short and sweet because it's a short lesson, I guess, but it can be a hard one. And if you have any comments about this, please, I'd love to share. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to know more about what your thoughts are. If this is something that you would like to work on, if maybe you have a hard time, and it's not just about controlling your anger, which it is. So that's one thing that I could totally help you with. I could help you with controlling your anger. I could help you with, okay, what are the words or sentences or language that you can use to apologize. I can help you with why maybe it's hard for you to even apologize, and why you think of how like maybe you want to do it, but at the same time you just can't, because there's something that's telling you that this is not what parenting is, but it is what you want parenting to be. Right? These are all different things that I can help you with through my one-on-one sessions. So I always do a free consult to everyone who is interested in learning more about working with me. So if this is you, then just send me a message. Bye. See you tomorrow.